In today's video, we are back for round 2 of the F1 Challenge Career Mode, racing at China. Sprint race and the main race is featured today, and the races are absolute carnage, up and down like a roller coaster. With that being said, let's get into the heart of the action and straight into the video. And as you can see, we've shut down every single department of our team apart from the personnel, quite simply because we need to keep it up and running so the game is functioning right. I tried to turn it off, but it won't literally let us advance because the whole team is shut down. So we just need to keep the personnel segment open and we can continue with the career mode. But as you can see, aerodynamics shut down, chassis shut down, powertrain shut down, durability shut down. So our car is locked to being the worst on the grid. With that being said, let's be getting into the race weekend here at China. Second round of the championship. Of course, not doing practice and going to get straight into qualifying. Oh, it's a sprint weekend. One set of socks. Okay. Right, so we're going to be loading the setup, take the fuel out of the car, and we're going to go with this setup. It's basically loosely based off every single time trial setup in the game anyway, so feel free to note that down and use it to your own driving if you would like to. Here we go then. Our one and only lap of qualifying. Already got 3% tire dig because we let the AI do the outlap. But you know what? We're going to vibe with it. Let's see what we can get out of it. Other cars are already on their lap as well. Sprint qualifying. No practice in this car. First lap on this grip level. I have no idea how the car is going to perform, but we're going to get on with it anyway into turn 1. See how the car handles in the tapers. That I was going to say rotated quite nicely, but it had massive understeer as soon as I was about to say that. Keeping the car much tighter on the second apex, using the overtake button on the exit, and now running up towards the end of sector 1. Bit of oversteer. Well held though, well held. Running up the hill into 6th, into 7th. Through the left-hander. Qualifying is complete. Now just trying to put the car into the apex. That's been a pretty nice middle sector, to be honest. Where can that be putting us? Is that going to be purple? Of course it isn't. We're in the worst car. And now going for the right-hander. Snell corner. Haven't really been talking that much on this qualifying lap because, to be honest, been kind of locked in, trying to adapt the grip level that we have. Like I say, done no practice, no warm-up on this grip level for this car, so really adapting on the fly to see what we can get out of it. Going into the hairpin. That was quite nice, to be honest. Traction was nice as well, using a bit of battery running up towards the ending of the lap down to 5th quarter. Here, I should be saying, for the final quarter, that was a pretty successful lap if you ask me. Where's that put us? Puts us P9. So we definitely have some work to do in the race. But it is going to be raining, it said on the weather report. So I think we can make up some positions there. Same setup as we used in qualifying as well. So lights are coming on. That was a quick lights out. And we definitely got caught a little bit napping there. Didn't get the optimal start. Alonso is going to be at the inside. We're 3 wide. Hello. Now, I'm going to be understeering. What can we do? That caught me off guard. And now looking around the outside. Collision with Hamilton, so must have made wheel-to-wheel contact just about. But we have ended up being up into P5. Can we get the traction? This is really critical points to make back for our pedal issues that we had in the Australia race. You can see Perez super fast in a straight line. We don't have any flashbacks, so if I break my wing, it is game over. As you can see, Russell actually got a bit of a snap of wheel spin on the exit, allowing us to get through into P4. Norris seems to be a bit slow on the left-hander. If anything's to go by, we definitely did lose out on a bit of top speed versus Perez on the run down to the end of Sector 1. Having to avoid the back of Norris there. What can we do? A bit of traction loss there. Russell is all over the back of us. We seem decent so far, to be honest. Where can we get to? Right, this is going to be our first test of straight line speed. And it seems like we're driving a boat in a straight line, to be honest. So we're going to have to rely on our cornering potential. Going to try and go around the outside of Russell here, though. Down to second gear. Around the outside. Use the traction on the better racing line. And we find ourselves back up into P4. I imagine... Oh, I was going to say, I imagine he'll attack me back down the pit straight. But because we went to Narnia on the final corner and took a track extension, we're going to be safe for now. And now down the back straight, almost like a repeat of the last lap, that Russell is going to be flying past us in the straight. But we are going to have the inside line claimed this time. But we have to be late on the brakes. And almost hitting the back of Lando Norris there. That was too close for comfort. The AI are absolutely flying. I think we'll need to take off some downforce on the car for the race. Well, at least for the full qualifying session to transition into the race with. We go around the outside of Perez. All an improvement from last lap that we didn't double front lock up. Go around the outside of him there. Purple first sector though. Much better underneath the braking. Much better underneath the traction. Seemingly we're closing into the AI now. Again, the car seems quite strong on the curbs on the inside of the track. Right in the slipstream. That should be fastest lap of the race. Oh, red flag. Oh, don't hit the back of Russell. Wow. I haven't had a red flag in this game, I don't think. I don't really know what to do. Red flag session stopped. Right, okay. So I guess we're going to strap on a new set of inters and go from there. Okay, well, we'll see. Return to strategy page. Yeah, let's put on a set of inters. And we'll be going with 4 laps to go in this race. We were P5 initially, but we actually overtook George to P4 just before the game stopped. So I'm interested to see where we're going to start. We're P4 or P5. Okay, we are going to be P5 again. But how have we lost a lap of fuel? We were like 0.9... Okay, there we go. It's back. Panic over. Panic averted. And now looking around the outside of George Russell. Maybe we can get Charles Leclerc as well here. Actually, it's lap 7 of the race. So, to be honest, I don't really think that situation helped me that much. In saying that, though, we have gone around the outside of 2 cars. So, depends on the pace. Depends how fast we can be on this lap. If that situation is going to be beneficial or negative for us. Because definitely on fresh tyres, the AI seem to be having an advantage against us. And as the tyres were degging off a little bit, we seem to be getting that pace back. Lando Norris had a shocker of an exit. And somehow we're going to go from P5 to P2 in just a half a lap of China. And, well, Lando's almost off the track there. And now we're going to be looking to close in to Max Verstappen. Still don't really know what caused that red flag. I didn't get an opportunity to have a replay of it. 1 second to Max Verstappen, 5/10 to Lando Norris behind us right now. The AI are really quick initially on new compounder tyres, but once they start to wear away, we seem to gain that pace back. Hopefully we don't lose touch time with Lando here. It's going to go defensive, man. That's going to cost us so much time with Max. We need to get Lando back, I think, immediately. Max does a 42.3, absolutely flying. 1.7 seconds ahead of us. There's a yellow flag in sector 3 again, but I doubt that's going to cause a red flag. Can we get on the inside of Lando Norris? Yes, we can, using that superior grip. We've got a nice amount of rotation on the curving as well. So now we need to run and absolutely try to get away from Lando Norris in the middle sector. Using a bit of overtake button now, just to ensure he can't have a look at the inside of us. Purple sector 1. I thought we was going deep on the apex there, but luckily just got the car stopped. We can't be behind Lando at the start of the next lap, I think. But we're not really going to have much choice. Right, we're going to let him go. Turn back on the battery. Be back in the slipstream. Try to go around the outside of the AI again. In the braking zone. Deep on the brakes. Down to second gear. Leaves a space on the apex. Really critical battling here. Right, 56% battery coming onto the back straight. Final lap of the sprint race. K-Mag's car is off to the outside, but there's a yellow flag. What means that Lando can't actually overtake us. Now it's gone green flag racing. But to be honest, I think that yellow flag was very, very, very lucky for us, allowing us to hang on to P2 in this sprint race, going all the way from P9 to P2. What a result. Can we keep fastest lap as well? We do keep fastest lap, and that is going to be lovely. I guess you don't get the point for the fastest lap. Ah, that's unfortunate. Okay, that's really unfortunate, actually. I thought you did. Now, sprint race is done. Let's move over to short qualifying. Right, it's going to be dry, and we've got 2 sets of soft compound tyres to use. I do think for raw pace, that 50-50 wing is probably going to be better. First lap, of course, actually need to get back used to the dry conditions. It's going to be not the easiest, actually. And so we should have more or less a clear track going into the first sector. There's one car up the road. Shouldn't really bother us. Now just going to drain the overtake button for the rest of the lap. Final apex. Bit sloppy, to be honest. Now using the final bits of the battery. And we go up into P6 on our first run here with the soft compound tyres. I'll take that. I'll take that. That's a good effort. So we're going to fine-tune the setup a little bit. Take a bit of off-throttle differential away just to make the car rotate a little bit more naturally in those corners. 4 tenths off the pole position, but only 2 tenths off P3. So let's see what we can do. We're going to fast forward a little bit and go towards the end of the session. Final corner, opening up the lap, 20 seconds, well, 26 seconds on the board. So we are going to make the checkered flag coming across the line to be starting our final lap here in qualifying. Into the right-hander, a bit of time to find by not being so aggressive with the inside curbing, and now letting the car rotate. Of course, that new differential setting is going to help us a lot. The rear of the car working a lot harder than it was the previous lap. 1.2 tenths up. Purple sector 1. A bit of a better line there as well, especially for the exit. Going to fight 2 tenths so far, using a bit more battery running up over the hill. Moving the brake bias back to 54%. 2 tenths up. Lift the throttle. Get the car rotated. Hopefully position better than last lap. It was, but still not perfect. But you know what? I'll take it. 2 and a bit tenths up still. Try not to lock up again. Purple, purple. Let's make sure we can finish up this lap in good style. Really committed back to the power there. Of course, this is going to be our weakest sector, as we saw in that sprint race. Even in the rain conditions, we had a straight line speed deficit to the AI. Let's see what we can do, draining the battery down. And now approaching the hairpin. Late on the brakes. Nice rotation there. 3 tenths up. What can we do? What can we do? 1 more corner to go. That's much nicer. Running up to the line. 3.5 tenths up. What is it? Oh, it's going to be P8 in the end. But you know what? I don't think I could have got much more out of that lap for the circumstances that we had. From there, we can fight. We can fight from there. So strategy for today. Of course, this is the setup that we're going to be using for the race. I think I'm going to stick with 50-50 wing. I think the tyre deck will be too high if I go lower, as we already were suffering with understeer in qualifying, and the front left is going to be in pain later in the stint. Going to up the fuel to 2.5 laps, just simply because the fuel efficiency, even in the intermediate conditions in the sprint race, did not look that promising. But it's time to go to the grid with 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And it's going to be lights out, and away we go. A pretty decent start originally, actually, but even better by Gasly. We want to get to the outside line. If we can help it, almost touching the back of Lewis Hamilton there, as we were trying to be greedy and get to the outside. We do get a warning for touching him, so clearly there was contact as we go up the inside of Oscar Piastri. We can go down the outside of Max Verstappen as well. We got contact from the rear left, just by Piastri a little bit there. How lucky were we not to pick up damage from Lewis Hamilton? Look at the strength and speed of that car. And now onto the brakes. The cars up ahead fighting. Some cars on the medium compound tyre, so we really need to be careful that we don't get dropped out of the DRS by those cars. But it is quite likely that they can if we do make a mistake or two. Right now, unless the overtaking opportunity is pretty obvious, I don't think we're going to try and go for it. on Verstappen. Piastri's going to go for it on us though. We had to do a bit of a late weave. He never got alongside us, so we could. But it really was not optimal for our braking line. And suffering a little bit on the exit because of that. Oh, I think we're not going to be having that much defense against Piastri on this straight. Because we can't afford to drain that much of our battery. We'll try to go back in the braking zone though, like we did on the wet conditions against the AI. Drift in. There we go. So I think, again, we're going to have a very similar situation to our wet performance, that we're going to suffer in the straight line speed potential. Okay, no, there's nothing we can do against Piastri here. We're going to let him go and try to retain with a DRS to keep in touch with the race leaders. The thing that doesn't help us is both those Ferraris on the medium compound tyre. Oh, that was not ideal for the final corner. Already got a track limits for that. Alright, we need Perez not to fight us in corner 1 here. Just able to retain track position before turning in. Piastri, I don't think has DRS. No, he doesn't have DRS. The car's ahead. Oh! That's got to be a red flag. That's got to be a red flag.
The safety car is out. Safety car is out.
Right,
we need to
that's
form
chaos.
up at reduced pace. Keep a close eye on that delta time. Make sure to keep it positive. Okay, the officials have deployed.
We are so lucky. We are so lucky. That's unbelievable. Ah, but that's going to be a medium strategy from here. I think that still works for us though, because we have 2 sets of new medium. Okay, let's go. Let's get back into the race. Piastri's got a 5-second penalty. No, Sainz has a 5-second penalty anyway. Lights out. And away we go again for lap 5 on the race. Perez has got an absolute stormer of a start. Can we go around the outside of some AI? Can we go around it? Verstappen certainly is. Look at him go. Can we go around the outside of even more? Yes, please. Yes, please. That would be absolutely simply lovely to say with Max Verstappen's catchphrase himself. Somehow, that red flag has brought our race alive. And we've been able to go around the outside of so many cars. And now we are down to 36% battery, but we're on a medium compound tyre. And I don't think those hard compound tyres will go to the end either. If they do, I'll be very, very surprised. We did get front wing damage very, very quickly. But of course, with the red flag, we fixed it. Go around the outside. No, we're not going to go around the outside here. We're going to play the long game. I don't really want to fight Charles. I really want to try and save some battery. DRS isn't enabled right now. DRS is enabled on this lap though. I want to stay ahead of Verstappen if I can. But we're a bit boxed in, and Verstappen might do a simply lovely move back to us, and he does. That's not very ideal. Trying to go for the switch back. To be honest, our pace is going to be far from ideal in a straight line at the moment. We just have to make sure that we don't burn battery in unnecessary fights. Watch out for a front wing hit. We don't get caught out by the AI being slow. Charles Leclerc has it as well. Carlos Sainz has DRS, but doesn't seem to be closing on me enough. We're going to go a little bit defensive just to make sure the AI doesn't do anything silly. And now we should, in theory, be able to settle into a nice flow. Right. Max Verstappen does fastest lap of the race. They're 2 seconds ahead of us now. That isn't really a gap that is achievable to catch. I say we've got to see what we can do. We've got to see what we can do. If we get re-overtaken, it is what it is. I think we'll go try and pass him on the pit straight though. Try and keep the position to Sainz. Have to go a little bit defensive. Verstappen and Russell are battling up ahead. There's also an incentive for me to try and get past Charles Leclerc. Right, down the pit straight. Let's see what we can do now. Using a lot of an overtake button. And now he doesn't even defend the inside line. 1.6 seconds. Oh, that was close. I thought he was going to turn in there. I was already focused on talking about the battle with Verstappen. Russell is on the hard compound tyre. I didn't know that. we can have a good middle sector. That gives me hope that we can clinch and clutch up with a DRS detection. Right, we're going to use a lot of battery here to try and do it, because if we can get him out of DRS, we can sort of lock in and follow this battle without having to worry about the cars behind. And we have broken the DRS of Charles Leclerc. 1.2 seconds, but 7/10 to Max Verstappen, and we only have 12% battery. DRS wide open, and they're still catching me without DRS. There we go. Now we're faster than Charles Leclerc. The cars ahead battling. Again, going to help us quite a lot. Right, Russell only 6/10 ahead. No chance we can overtake him on this straight line, though. And there is a
Here's some information on Hulkenberg.
Hulkenberg.
Right, they've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
Right, Hulkenberg's out of the race, but it seems like a safety car won't be called, so we do not need to be boxing on this lap. What I think is actually a good thing for us. Seemingly, though, the same thing that happened in the intermediate race seems to be happening here. The longer that the stint goes on, the better our pace seems to be getting. As now we're able to follow Russell closer and closer, despite the fact these medium should be getting worse than these hard compound tyres. I'm starting to feel more and more alive, more and more confident that we can clinch a race victory here today. Lewis Hamilton's out of the race.
They're retiring from the race.
Again, seeming like a safety car is not called, but it does look like a car failure. But that is a big blow for Hamilton in the championship. A lot of attrition rate in today's race already on lap 11. You can see the Ferraris are actually fighting quite a lot behind us. Well, again, is very, very, very good for our race. I think our strategy more or less will just be following the car that we can stay in the DRS of. Right, we can stay behind George and keep his DRS alive. We will. Please battle. Yes. That's going to help us save so much more of our battery back. Verstappen has lost quite a lot of ground. Can we maybe sneak past Verstappen? Verstappen does box, so there's definitely no chance we can sneak past Verstappen. But this opens up a very unique opportunity for us to maybe overcut where Verstappen can be. Maybe he comes out in traffic. Maybe he doesn't have a quick outlap. But I think we should follow George Russell and try to capitalize on what pace he has. Right, gonna probably stay behind Russell on this straight. I think to overtake him will take so much battery, it's not worth doing. Oh, I thought it was going in the pit lane then. Almost went in there myself. We will be boxing regardless on this lap.
Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
Bit conservative on the brake just to make sure we don't make a silly mistake hitting the back of Russell. Right, box box. Russell does not. Right, let's get this thing slowed down. Nice and conservative in pit entry. No need to take a big risk. But even that, 15 miles an hour under was a bit slow. In all honesty, trundling down the pit lane and ready to get a turn-in point. Tried to be perfect, and we were. Let's see what we can do. Oh, come on, team. No, man. That's 2.5 seconds lost. That's so bad. We need to make that up on track. That is a disaster. Exactly what we didn't need. Already gained half a second to Lando up ahead. What is Max Verstappen? Max has already gone over the start-finish line? That's crazy how far ahead he is. He's already in turn 1. We need to probably send it on Ocon here, to be honest. Good move. Didn't lose really any time there. Switch back on Norris. Look at the grip we have. Bit in vain, because probably he'll re-overtake us with his straight line speed. Will Ricciardo have the DRS? He will. But we need to get past both these cars, using a bit of overtake. Going around the outside of Ricciardo. Stroll, man. I don't think our luck could be any worse in this race. Stroll just absolutely brake checked us. Well, I can't say brake checked. Yeah, I can say brake checked. What was that? Ah. As you can see on the bottom right, we don't even have flashbacks turned on. So even if we wanted to use one, we can't and we won't anyway. But what is this race, man? That's going to cost us a lot. Stroll is now trying to re-overtake us. We need to drive pretty well for this remaining part of the race. Go around the outside of Ricardo, but that front left is going to be so slow. We do need another safety car. We need another safety car in this race. We seem to still have okay pace. The car is still rotating pretty well. But of course, that's going to get really quite bad as we degrade that front left tyre. Able to still use the traction of the tyres though. Able to fly past Tsunoda there. 8 seconds to Max Verstappen. That is a crazy gap. I'm a bit nervous to go around the outside of the AI again, to be honest. I don't want them to do again what they just did. Okay, Gasly actually knows how to hit the apex, so that's lovely. Let's see if we can get within 5 seconds of Carlos Sainz, though. Because that'll be really important. Because, of course, he's got that 5-second time penalty. Just about able to sweep in. Take the apex. 10 seconds, though, to Alonso. So we need to make up about 5 seconds for Carlos Sainz. Gap down to 8 seconds, though. That's a good indication of where Sainz is. So if we can get within 5 seconds, obvious statement I know, but we'll get an extra place to be promoted up to P5. Right, 5.5 seconds. Seems he has been dropped out of the DLS of Max Verstappen. So providing I don't make a mistake or something unusual doesn't happen, we should be able to get within that 5 seconds of Carlos Sainz and take home P5 in this race. Still though, one battle with the AI, and we're only 4 seconds away from Alonso. We might be able to sneak through. We might be able to. We need those AI to fight the 2 Ferraris coming onto the final lap of the race. The 2 Ferraris are still not battling, so pretty much impossible to be catching them right now. Like I say, unless something really spectacular happens between the two of them. We did see Carlos Sainz spin out earlier in the race. Wouldn't mind that again. But anyway, what a crazy episode. Going from 2 good qualifying laps, to be honest, in the sprint qualifying and actually in the main qualifying as well. Being able to hoist ourselves up into contention to fight for wins in both races. And on intermediate tyres in the sprint race, we did a decent job. I think without the red flag, we probably could have had a better chance to win, in all honesty, as it seems our pace was getting better as the tyres degged away. And in the main race, of course, another red flag. The chance to win was pretty much impossible. Hearing the strategy of George Russell on the hard compound tyre going all the way until the end, was no chance that we could win with a double medium strategy. Of course, not having the hard tyre available to be started on it. And then with the front wing damage off the back of Lance Stroll really cost us a lot. George Russell has officially won the race, as now we're coming through the final complex of turns. Carlos Sainz will finish 3rd on the road, but providing I don't make a mistake in these final few corners, we should be able to gain the position to him and finish P5 ourselves. We do. And yeah, combined scores of George Russell becoming the most points victor from the sprint race and the main race with 30, and us, of course, on 17. What could have been, but oh well, these things can happen. And still able to get a decent result, all things considered, and to be coming home in P5. But then, of course, with the overall point standings from both races combined being in P4 total. Taking a look at the Drivers' Championship, we're P5 with 27. Max Verstappen is 53, topping the leaderboard with quite a convincing lead, given only 2 races that have happened so far in the championship. Additionally, in the Constructors, we're P5 as well, taking 100% of the team's points thus far, so far this season. Next round, we'll see us going to my home GP in Silverstone, and I'm very much looking forward to that one. So that is today's episode concluded. Currently P5 in the championship as we head into my home race at Silverstone. And we need to clutch up if we want to stay in the Drivers' Championship hunt. Max Verstappen seems to be taking control in the early phase, but anything can happen. And Formula 1, normally anything does happen. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Grazie, ciao ciao, bye bye.